Digitizing our signal. Reticulating our splines. Mimetic filters active. Foundation staff being paged. I do believe all systems are go. Well, well, well indeed, Cyrus. The eggiest egg, we're not going to sell kidneys unless we get them from a reputable source. The Patchwork Bear's kidneys made of yarn are adorable, but they're not going to do the job. Anyways, allow me to do my introduction. Hello there, Site42 staff. Welcome to another anomalous broadcast from Site42. This is Dr. Sherman's office hours. I am currently setting up our back end right here. We are all set. Perfect. Okay. Welcome to office hours, everybody. It is currently 1800 hours, 42 minutes. We intend to go live until about, I'd say 2100 hours, 42 looks good. JC, I'm doing quite well today. How are you doing today? Let me click that right there. Make sure I have the database pulled up. Perfect. Yes, Cyrus, the phrase is, "Ya played yourself." Who would win, 035 or 096? Mr. Guy? I don't know that I've seen that match out on the wiki, but I'm certainly willing to take a look. SCP 096 versus SCP 035. Have we done any of that? A lot of people ask if 035 was put onto 096, which is just a terrible idea. 096 is far too durable for us to risk giving it to someone like 035, a super smart villain, as everyone says. I don't think he's that smart. I think people are just weak-willed and easily fooled. Well, that's just me. The thinking that they're weak-willed and easily fooled. Not that I am weak-willed and easily fooled, obviously. See, you guys get me. That's why you're here. Blocks Fruits content. Dr. Sherman, will you be in the Minecraft movie too? You know, I'm not familiar with the SCP Minecraft scene, but if there's a Roblox movie, I wouldn't be surprised. There was actually, I don't know how much I can say about this. There was a funny story where, if I'm remembering it right, all of this is alleged, just in case, it's been a while, but Roblox made a bunch of toys of different Roblox games that were made. And because there's so much Roblox SCP content, I believe the story was that they made SCP toys, not knowing that SCP wasn't an original IP that they could use. And so licensing team of the wiki had to get in touch with them and clear the air so that everything was all legal and such. But just a funny way that SCP creeps into everything, huh? Frank Horrigan, how much do you get paid? Listen, we're not here to talk about a site director's pay. That's not part of the process. We're just here to talk about the site budget. Ansen, nice to see you. I'll just sleep while chilling here. 3 a.m. start, 6 a.m. ending is getting to me. That is fair. Go to bed. Our schedule, we will do earlier streams in your time zone at some point as well. It is just the way it goes on certain weekdays. Come over here, make sure I've got everything clear. That's good. We should cut your pay to make up the budget. If only I got paid that well. If only any Foundation staff member got paid that well. I mean, barring the overseers, but that's crazy. You know what I mean by that. Atlas, thank you for the coffee. Very helpful. We have all hands on deck today. I appreciate it. Make sure Steve gets it and passes it my way. Random Fandom, thank you for being a member and welcome to the chat. Onyx, yeah, the budget for the MTF is looking rough. I believe it. It is a tough time for everybody at Site 42, but we will get the overseers back on our side eventually. And how we're going to do that? SCP the movie. We're going to make an SCP movie. We're going to broadcast it behind the veil. We're not going to break secrecy. Only to people who are Foundation staff or other group of interest. It can be great propaganda. We'll make sure that we show our dominance to the Global Occult Coalition. They'll have nothing to do but stand in awe of our awesomeness. And they'll pay a hefty ticket price to see it. Silly Bill, would you kiss any SCP? I absolutely would not. We do not fraternize with the anomalies. Neither will you. Give 049 more test subjects. Absolutely not. Right now, 049 is on a mission with a mobile task force. It's part of a agreement we've got going on right now. And as long as 049 doesn't buckle on its end of the deal, then we don't need to give it test subjects as of right now. Teach us how to do your anomalous pen tricks. Well, Square Cube, it's quite simple. If you want to do pen tricks, you start by holding the pen between your fingers. And you get a little wiggle going. Once you got your wiggle going, you catch it with the next finger. There you go. Then you catch it again. And again, on top this time. And on bottom, and on top. You got to be able to switch. Got to be able to play both sides, the top and the bottom. And then you can swing the other way. Swing it the other direction. Once you learn it to do it both ways on one hand, you switch hands and you do the other hand. It's just a matter of repetition and practice, which is, you know, so true of so many things in life. When you're working at the Foundation and you're running experiments and you're working very hard to protect mankind from the darkness seen around every corner, and there are trees that need to scream and they aren't, and it frustrates you, it's because you haven't worked hard enough and practiced. And with some discipline, you can get there. Hello, Moises. Oh, the chat is behind. I gotta scroll down. So here's the question. Let's workshop. We're trying to have SCP the movie fix the budget so that we have enough budget to keep containing anomalies. The question becomes, what SCP do you guys feel would be the best SCP film? You know, we have a lot of ideas. There's thousands of SCPs. But what would be the best one for a film? Now, some of the more popular ones. Oh, wait a minute. I'm seeing here. Thank you, Sav Leota, for subscribing. Thank you for Jails the Monkey for subscribing. Jails the Monkey King, sorry. And thank you, Pankeka XTC, for subscribing. Welcome, new Site 42 staff. see, 173, I mean, it's literally a statue that doesn't move if you look at it. So that means that as a film, you get a lot of static frames of it not moving, which can be creepy. I mean, those weeping angels were a bit weird and freaky. But can they hold up a whole movie, especially if there's only one of them? I don't know about that. I don't think there's enough meat on that bone, enough meat on that rebar, so to speak. SCP-3008, you say, the Infinite IKEA. What would the Infinite IKEA movie be? Would it just be someone shows up inside and then has to travel? Now, I'll tell you this. As good as we are at keeping things secret, IKEA Legal is way on top of making sure we can't do anything with the Infinite IKEA. Oh, my word. They have stopped SCP games in their tracks with legal suits when it comes to making sure we don't misuse the IKEA brand. So IKEA knows about SCP, and they do not like us. Jover11, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and congratulations for being the very first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some caviar and Dom Perignon on your way past the commissary to celebrate your firstness. Talk about SCP-096. Well, what do you want to know about SCP-096? I mean, it just lost a death battle cast the other day. It is constantly in threat of being destroyed because Dr. Dan has an obsession of some kind, can't just let us test things in peace, has to keep trying to destroy it the same way we destroy 682. It's not necessary to destroy anomalies if we can research them, and most of the time 096 is fine in its box, so it's not as if we need to worry about that. Remember, non-alcoholic. We're working right now. Jover, thank you for donating again, but everything about 096? That's kind of a broad subject, don't you think? But what I will talk about is, if we're talking about SCP films, you know, the SCP-096, that was a pretty good little short film. A team-up with Mr. Clay, the visual artist, and Dark Math Films, the team behind SCP Cadet School. And so, you know, that's one of my favorite ones of the top live-action ones that have been made because it gives you a little bit of that action with the Mobile Task Force, but it also hits you up with a good combination of the behind-the-scenes with the site staff and the interviews, gives you that bureaucracy that is so important to the SCP fandom, because I've heard this term for us and I appreciate it greatly. It's bureaucratic horror. It's not just, ooh, there's a scary monster. It's that there's this cabin in the woods like entity that's doing things behind the scenes. And so any SCP movie would have to have that edge to it. It can't just be a horror movie. There needs to be that extra level of bureaucracy in hand. Random fandom. Which SCP is the hotel where you need to cut a part of your body with scissors to leave? I wonder what happened if an anomaly got trapped there. Would the hotel room take pity? I forget that one, but I can look it up real quick. I'm pretty good at finding SCPs in the database. Scissors. No. 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 Yes, you're thinking about 5062. SCP-5062 is the hotel where you get locked in and a pair of scissors spawns and you can't leave unless you cut off a body part. Individual becomes trapped. Scissors will spontaneously manifest on the writing desk or on the carpet. Individual become aware that the only method of leaving 5062 is by using said scissors to sever one of their own body parts. The specific body part required to be severed in order to leave 5062 differs from case to case. Once severed, the body part in question will rapidly become shriveled and blackened, and the victim will become able to leave 5062. Following exit, the victim may experience additional symptoms including elevated levels of generosity and altruism, increased levels of charisma, and a significantly greater desire to enact positive change in the world around them. So that's what you're thinking of. And you know what? While I don't think a whole movie about the cleansing room would be good, a short film of one person stuck in a hotel room with voices telling them to cut off a potty part, that would make a very good short. You could do that on a very low budget with one actor on the starring role and a couple of different actors in supporting roles as the foundation staff. And even then, they wouldn't have to be very prominent at all. It could be focused on the person in the room. But the going back and forth between them looking at the scissors and what they have to do and making up their mind, that could be an interesting little short. I agree with that. Ooh, what's this over here? Chandra Gerber, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We welcome you to staff and thank you for your membership. Door, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chocolate door on your way past the commissary. What if people go insane and think a door is an SCP? Well, you see, if people think doors are SCPs, that means they have to work for the Foundation to know what an SCP is. And so that's one situation there. Secondarily, you're looking at a scenario where I would say you're not so worried if a door is an SCP because you don't know what the door is going to do or not do. You could still use a door if it's an anomaly that does something benign, like fixes your hair as you walk through it, or it's a door that makes you 10% cooler while you walk through it. No one would have a problem with that door. But if it's a door that murdered you and your family line going back generations, then yeah, that door would be a little more adverse to being walked through. So it all depends on the anomaly at the end of the day. Jover, thank you for donating again. SCP 1514. That's ominous. No question, just an SCP number. I hope this isn't crazy. Star Wars. Literally, it's titled Star Wars. And it's a nuclear deterrent system. U.S. government, 1983. Got an extra documentation here. Anomalous radio transmission once every hour. Cannot be deterred or disrupted. Faraday cages don't even work. That's impressive. More documentation. Oh, well, I'm glad it thinks the stars are pretty. Or no, it wants to know if the stars are pretty. So, we'll see if it finds out. Good for them. Zay, dude is going to yap for 2 to 9 minutes here. Oh, trust me. My ability to yap is far beyond 2 to 9 minutes. One would say we go beyond plus ultra even. Chandra, thank you for donating again with this little robot guy. Much appreciated for your continued support. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious chai tea on your way past the commissary. That time I did it on purpose because of yesterday's stream. If you know, you know. Door, thank you for donating again. And, well, if you want a lemon, you can get a lemon from the commissary. That's up to you. Sean Does Things, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some cake from the commissary. Would you consider Kirby an SCP? So, everyone, let us say our favorite phrase, which is, it's anomalous, but it's not an SCP. Because it needs to be on the SCP database to be an SCP. Oh, wait a minute. I'm remembering something. So let me finish what I was saying. It has to be on the SCP database to be an SCP. So pop culture things from other cultures or fandoms are not SCPs because they're not on the SCP wiki. But I've got 2 things for you to thank you for asking this with a donation. Number 1, I have a video. It's a short. I believe it's on Site 42 Black Division, aka TikTok, about containing Kirby. And Kirby would be contained using the replicating cakes. Because I believe that if you stick Kirby with the infinite cakes, SCP-871, I believe they would self-contain each other. So I think it's a pretty clever idea. But on top of that, not only do I give you that I think SCP Kirby could be contained as a cake, but there is another iteration of Kirby that is actually on the SCP Wiki. Did you know? Now, here's the funny thing. It's not actually Kirby as an SCP. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is somebody wrote SCP-3450, which is called OC Do Not Steal. So, you know we're getting into it here. Amber, good to see you in the chat. Thank you as always for being a member. And yeah, Cabin in the Woods is a great movie. OC Do Not Steal. I beg you to listen to our reading of this here on the Site-42 Red Division, SCP-3450. And if you don't want to be spoiled, cover your ears for a minute while I talk about it. But it is an anomaly that eats your original characters. It is a Kirby fanfiction where Kirby eats your OC, defeats it in battle, and instead of taking its powers, it takes your creativity. And so, whoever ends up researching that anomaly, it's not good for them. Enjoy SCP-3450. It's a great story, and our reading, oh, there's a lot of anxiety in there. Because the voice actress who did the part for me, love her to death, one of my besties, and oh, it makes your heart hurt. Listen to 3450, you enjoy that. Jover, thank you for donating again and saying 1514 again. I don't know why you keep saying 1514. I want you to know the stars are pretty, in case you didn't know. Ron Hetzel, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pretzel on your way past the commissary. What is your favorite J-Series SCP? So if you've been on previous streams, you know I list my favorite SCPs. And among those are 008-J and Spooky-J. But we're not going to count those today because you want to know my favorite -J, and I'm not going to list the usual. I happen to like SCP-4357-J. 4357 is the Cooperative Demon. And the Cooperative Demon is a demon we have in containment who is so sassy and silly that it keeps mocking us for our underused, our underthought of containment procedures, but it accidentally tells us even better procedures to capture it. So back in the early days of the Foundation, when we were young and not as good as our job, we got a lot of intel from that one. It was quite good. Saramac, I love your idea for an SCP-3999 movie. I have so many ideas for 3999 since it's one of my favorites. That one we could tell a short story or even a long story for. In fact, if you go to the YouTube channel for Synthetic Alien, who is the editor for Site-42's live-action videos, for our on-camera videos, Synth has a video, a short film about 3999 that you might enjoy. It gets a little weird. It uses some audio footage from the recorded version I did of the original document. So go check that out. Connor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some caviar on your way past the commissary. Hi. Hi. Kingsman, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a spot of tea on your way past the commissary. Sick Beard. Why, thank you. Zippo File Studios, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot link on your way past the commissary. Hey, it's me, John Chaos Insurgency. I'm freeing the SCPs in your site and activating the on-site Alpha Warhead as a prank. You're saying in Site-42 we have a breach? I don't believe that to be the case. Site-42, security logs. Nope, no security breach here. All the SCPs are tucked nicely in their cells. Visions of not sugar plums floating through their not heads? You must be mistaken. I'm sorry, John Chaos Insurgency, if that's your real name. You must be somewhere else. Okay. Handled. Scrolling. Would SCP-173 teleport if you pushed it off a cliff? Connor, thank you for donating again. No. 173 doesn't teleport. It just moves very, very fast. In one of my recent Shower Thought videos, in fact, it might be the one that's releasing tomorrow. So here's a sneak peek. Wyatt asks if 173 were crossing a gap at its supersonic speeds. If you then looked at it, would it hover over the pit or would it fall? And at least my hypothesis is it would fall. It's still affected by gravity. So if it's not moving, it would... Yahoo! Scrolling. Kabia Q, good to see you again, and thank you for donating to today's stream for the first time. Make sure to grab yourself some chicken wangs on your way past the commissary. Then explain 3166. What do you mean, so explain? Is there something behind that? Why did you say it like that? Well, I'll go to 3166 and see what's going on in the database. You have no idea how alone you are, Garfield. You must be talking about... Are you talking about SCP movie things? Are you talking about not using copyrighted things in SCP? Because yes, while SCP is Creative Commons, there is the problem that we are a creepypasta and online writing fandom, which means people use pop culture things they know about sometimes instead of making up their own, and it might cause problems with the Creative Commons license down the line. It's something we got to watch out for. That being said, 3166 is a funny Garfield article. So, you can... Oh, it has a supplementary document now. Oh, no, it doesn't. This is just the Garfield website for the creepy Garfield comic. I see what you're doing. Okay. Interloper, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some ice cream on your way past the commissary. Would you recommend Pressure for You? Would recommend Pressure for You if it's an SCP vid. Pressure for You? I don't know what that is. Desk, did you do something with that? Nope, that's something else you were talking about in Roblox. I'll get to that one eventually. Remember to keep an eye on our moderator Desk and his messages, because sometimes if your SCP, if your messages or donations get redacted or data expunged, there may be a reason, and Desk will tell you straight up. Desk's hammer is mighty. All right, so Pressure for You. I'm going to look up Pressure for You and see if that shows me anything. I don't know what this is. Blood pressure readings. I'm sure that's not what you're talking about. All right, I've got nothing here that tells me what's up. So I'm sorry, I don't understand. Maybe you'll tell me what's up going soon. But I'll get there when I get there in the feed. Door, thank you for donating again. And look up John Doe Forsaken Wiki. I want to see how you contain that Roblox character. That's what Desk was showing me earlier. Desk, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Okay, so a quick read over here. Sprint speed, stamina, stamina loss, stamina gain. John Doe is one of many killers currently available, purchasable for 1,000 player points. John Doe has fused himself with the defunct old Roblox code and now will kill anyone who stands in his path. determined to destroy all of Roblox. Okay. Apparently, they did not successfully destroy Roblox on March 18th, 2017, so we know they're not that powerful. Gameplay. The most technical killer currently in the game. John Doe's playstyle is mainly set play, trapping and cornering survivors to kill them swiftly and easily. Requires patience to either trap players or kill them with some of their abilities. Natural malevolence. Trail of corruption, so don't step on the acid like 106. Can only be stunned for a very short time. Slashing. Punches in the arm and causes spikes. A shadow that can trap people. Interesting. And it has a hunter's aura. Got you. So the good news is this entity is in Roblox. So if we were going to contain it, we would need to contain the server it was on. We would contain that in a Faraday cage so it couldn't get out. And therefore, we would end up with able to interview it and have a lot of problems that would probably breach, because that's how these horror anomalies always go, to the best of our abilities. The supernatural always finds a way. But I imagine it would be in a situation very similar to other anomalous video game characters. Pretend you didn't see that. Let me keep this chat running here. It's logging. Oh, thank you, Dark Ones, Dark, the Lost Ones, for becoming a Site 42 subscriber. Scrolling up to where I left off in the donos. Catriona, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure you should grab yourself some gelato on your way past the commissary. The has breached containment. I mean, we don't have an SCP-055, so I don't know how something we don't have could breach containment. It's a silly superstition you have there. Kaga, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious ramen on your way past the commissary. Prepare for my arrival, worm, because I look at a pic of 096. Well, my hope is that you've only looked at an artistic version of 096, a drawing or some sort. That way you're not actually being chased by it. But if you were on your way here, we would have you on security cameras. So the good news is if you're trying to kite 096 into our facility, you're going to be very disappointed when the snipers get a hold of you. So, best of luck! Cheers! Dorian, thank you for your first donation to the stream. Feel free to get yourself some wound salve for... Oh, no, that's not wound salve. You retracted your own message. That wasn't desk. So, feel free to grab yourself some paella on your way past the commissary. Door, thank you for donating again. I'll make an SCP-055 because I forget what it is. I mean, if you can make anomalies, then please don't. The point is to contain them and restrict them from existing, so the more you make, the more work it is for everyone else. It's a bad plan. Don't do that. Poke, thank you for both being a member and your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pineapple pen on your way past the commissary. So a friend of mine keeps pestering me to ask this, so 999 versus 7538, who wins? Well, I know what 999 is, so let me double check what 7538 is. That is an anomalous blahage, it looks like. It is sentient, capable of levitation, traveling through the air in a manner comparable to swimming in the ocean. Behaviors of the domesticated canine, being fairly docile and able to understand simple instructions. So I'm going to say that play wrestling is not really something that you could have a versus match in. But I will say that if you were playing a fetch competition, a floating blahaj can probably move faster than 999. So I believe that 7538 would end up winning any sort of fetch competition. Could be a Q. Thank you for donating again and apologizing for your transgressions. PETA explains the joke. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Pawtucket brew on your way past the commissary. What if the Chaos Insurgency gets hands on the SCP movie and distributes it to the public, though? You see, that's the brilliant part. We put a mimetic filter at the beginning of the film so that it amnesticizes everyone who sees it in 2.5 hours after they've enjoyed the film. You see, it's the thing is that it's not going to be a short film, because if we got to make a budget shortfall, we got to be epic here. We got to make a big boy movie. That way people come in and they spend extra money to get the IMAX, and then they leave not remembering a thing. It's the perfect plan. It's the perfect plan. So yes, great thought, but we're not worried about that. The AI 25,000. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some microchips and salsa on your way past the commissary. If SCP-173 was moving on a frictionless surface and then was observed, would it stop moving completely or simply freeze while still sliding? I believe physics would still be in effect, and 173 would slide. Oh no. Assassin Fox. The broke god won't stop calling you about giving you some cash? I'm so sorry about that. He is so frustrating. I mean, it is so frustrating. Anomalies are its, not he's or she's. They're not people. They're objects. So I'm sorry it's doing that to you. Random Fandom, I see what you're talking about, and I want you to know that Dr. Elias Shaw is an XP that we are allowed to speak about, although it is a different person with different tangential powers and or what's the phrase? Uses. For instance, there's no more amulet involved. It's a whole different backstory. You can read about Elias Shaw on the wiki for sure. Although I'm not sure they finished the full revamp yet. I haven't seen anything about that. I'll give you more intel when I got it. Random Fandom. What is the bodies in the water? I've heard Site42 mention it, and I'm always confused. So, number one, before I get into this, you should go check out, I just saw it today. I think it just dropped. It's SCP-2316 YouTube. This dude today just dropped a video about you do not recognize the bodies in the water. And I'm going to go get you his at real quick, because he's not an SCP creator, but he's a horror and creepypasta creator who's explaining SCPs. And if I go back in my history to earlier this afternoon, you want to go check out... Where'd you go? Oh, it's still populating my history. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, so it takes a minute. That's Wonder of You versus 096. Oh, what the heck am I doing? I have it in my watch later, so I could watch it again. You want to go to Davis Morgan on YouTube. Davis Morgan, you do not recognize the bodies in the water. It's a 28-minute explainer on SCP-2316. He also, a couple weeks ago, did another SCP video. Davis Morgan is going places, so go check out his videos regarding the SCP Foundation. Now, where was I? Close this. Go back here. And so, yes, there we go. Oh, geez. Thank you, Testing Ground, me, Rogan Plays, and Sprinkle for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to the team. Matthew F., thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some pudding on your way past the commissary. Do you have a least favorite SCP? Technically, I don't have a least favorite SCP. So my way of seeing things is even if I don't like a story necessarily, I never see them in really a negative way because I'm not a yuck someone's yum kind of person. Even stories I don't specifically like, I end up finding something to like about them from a writing standpoint. Way back in the day, I did a video about SCP-3300 because I didn't like it at the time. And then I read it on stream to critique it. And over reading the whole thing, I started to understand it better. And I begrudgingly had to say, even if I don't like it that much, I can tell it's very well written. And that happens a lot. Things on the SCP Wiki that are actually bad don't last that long because of the community vote. So there's not really any works on the Wiki I could consider a least favorite that I even know or pay attention to. There was one article a couple of years back, that was so, I'd say, torture porny and kind of like violence against women-y that I felt like the author might have some issues they need to work through. But I can't find that article anymore, so I think it might have gotten deleted. But that's always my default answer of that's the one I don't like, but it's gone now, so I don't worry about it. Soul Hunter, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream. Yes, it is. So make sure to grab yourself a cup of Joe on your way past the commissary. Coffee, not actually Joseph. Thank you. And you're asking, is a emotional support demon considered an SCP? Demons are anomalous. Therefore, if we have them on the database, they're SCPs. If not, you need to turn it in, put it in a box so we can log it. Interloper, thank you for donating again. And, oh, a long one, I guess. I thought I could say it in 50 words. I meant if X is an SCP, which it isn't, but if it were, how would the Foundation contain series? It's a Roblox game with many anomalies. Oh, okay. Let me go back to your old comment and put those together. Pressure for you, Roblox. Okay. I will take a look at it here now that you've given me more intel. Pressure for you, Roblox. Roblox. Oh, it's not pressure for you. It's just pressure. You were recommending it to me, which is why you said for you. I get it now. I'm caught up. So pressure, Roblox. Pressure wiki. Oh, that's bright. Ah. Desk, did you tell me that earlier? Okay. You did not correct me on that yet. I saw DMs and I was like, oh, he's already got this. Uncontoned, unapproved, heavily disliked, unofficial wiki for Pressure. The Roblox horror game developed by Urban Shade, Hadal Division. All right, so it's a black site. It's got monsters. It's got items. Grand encounters. Well, that's very pretentious. Kidding, kidding. And game mechanics. So what is the dealio? Multiplayer horror game heavily inspired by Doors and many other different games such as Iron Lung, Ultra Kill, and SCP Containment Breach. Game involves around dubbed expendables, so D-class. Prison inmates have been recruited by the Urban Shade Corporation to traverse Hadal Black Site with the promise of riches and freedom after a site-wide lockdown to receive a crystal. So it's 115 rooms of Containment Breach with monsters. All right, well, the good news is that they are inside of a black site, and that means it's extremely easy to contain because we just have to lock down the site. And in fact, you could even headcanon that all that's happening in the game is that we have it contained and we're sending in our own D-class. That would be just as likely from what I'm seeing. And as long as we can keep the monster from escaping, that's an easy containment. Oh, Desk, you're good. I figured it out. We're all fine. Okay, so what's next? Kaga, thank you for donating again. Please explain for new people the different classes SCPs can be classified and what the strongest man be classified as. So, here we go. Object classes. Nice to do a little clarification every once in a while. Object classes, SCP. So, starting your object class list, you have the basic object classes, the OGs, and that is your Safe, Euclid, and Keter. And the way that works is that a lot of people make the mistake that object classes talk about danger, but they don't talk about danger. They talk about ease of containment. Wait just 1 second. That one gay Brotogen VR, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher. Welcome to Site 42 staff, and we thank you for your membership. So, object classes are not about danger. You could have an object be the most dangerous object in all the land, but if it just stays in a box, if it's contained, if it's that easy to contain, then it's safe class. Safe means you could lock it in a box and it will stay there and you don't got to worry about it. Euclid class means that some extra containment is involved. If we don't pay attention, it might get out. And because of that, any living anomaly that is sapient and sentient is considered Euclid by default. Because you can't just leave it in a box. It will end up starving to death or finding a way out. So living entities are Euclid by default. Keter is for when it's actually very hard and resource intensive to contain. Now those are the basics, but wait, there's more. Secondary classes, Thaumiel. Thaumiel are SCPs that are used to contain other SCPs. Now, sometimes it gets a little fudged to be SCPs the Foundation uses in general, but the main idea is that a Thaumiel class contains another SCP. That's the main idea. Apollyon is a controversial object class meant pretty much for world-ending or world-changing SCPs. There's very much not a lot of them because usually that means the world has ended. But Apollyon is that kind of further than Keter uncontainable and also the world's at risk. Archon class anomalies are interesting. Archon class anomalies are anomalies that could be contained, but the act of containing them is actively detrimental to either the Foundation or the world, and so it's better to let it loose. So, if I believe the most standard version of Archon, even though it's not listed as such, is the Man in the Mountains. 1529 is an old man, the King of the Mountain, who every time it comes into civilian spaces or gets contained, it ends up causing catastrophes. And so we just have to kind of let it free to live in the mountains where it's safe. Now, it's such an old article on the site that it's listed as Euclid, but I would argue that based on future rules, it would actually be an Archon class anomaly. But that is for the author of the article on the database to make that change. So I'm not going to worry about that. Standards change over time. Now, this one, I don't even know about it. This one I haven't even seen before on the list. It is Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga class SCPs cannot be contained, but also do not need to be contained. While these anomalies are similar to Archon class SCPs and that containment is unnecessary, Ticonderoga class SCPs are distinguished by also not being containable in the first place. This may be due to their widespread or ubiquitous occurrence on Earth, despite the general public remaining unaware of their existence and anomalous nature. So, for both Archon and Ticonderoga, you'll also see people just call those object class uncontained. So they're not necessarily used that often to my knowledge, but they are there if you want to use them. Now, other object classes are like explained for when it used to be thought of as anomalous, but now it isn't anomalous anymore. We figured it out through science. Or maybe it was never anomalous in the first place. Maybe it was just a fraud. You have neutralized, meaning it was anomalous and now it's not for some reason. You have decommissioned, where we destroyed it on purpose. You have pending, where when we don't know. You have uncontained, which, you know, is just like Archon and Ticonderoga. And you have esoteric classes, which is just a bunch of other ones that we don't use very often, so they don't get their own section. But yes, that is your list of object classes for your education. Make sure you do well on your tests when it comes up. See, that's the exact thing we have office hours for. You come to me, you ask your questions, you get your answers. Oh, my browser reset on me. Give me one moment. Seems like the mimetic filters need a reboot. Okay. Vodka Cat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a White Russian on your way past the commissary. Is there Wi-Fi/cellular signal in SCP-3008? So I don't believe there is cell signal or Wi-Fi. Wait. There's not cell signal, but there might be Wi-Fi in certain sections. I don't know for sure, but I do know that that there are plenty of IKEAs that have Wi-Fi, so maybe some sections of the Infinite IKEA have Wi-Fi as well. That being said, we usually just use standard comms when we have explorations in there. Captain Canuck, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Haagen-Dazs on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I think Abel might have breached containment again. I have him dealt with, but I figured I'd just contact send MTF to pick him up. Just tell him to call me a day ahead of time, 2582 out. Well, I'm glad you took him out. That usually takes a full team, so congratulations. Go grab yourself another pint at the commissary. Rowan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream and for being a member as well. Make sure to grab yourself some cherry pie on your way past the commissary. Hear me out. 079 movie, but make the first half a workplace comedy. 079 movie starting as a workplace comedy. I would assume that maybe the AI is pulling pranks on somebody and is not contained even though it should be. But then, what is the second half of the movie? Does it just turn into containment breach because 079 is out and is going to try and cause problems? Maybe. Could be fun. Do I see 079 starring as the enemy as a villain protagonist or villain antagonist in a SCP movie? I guess it's not impossible. I mean, there is the SCP-079 web series episode from SCP Redacted. If you want to see that live action show, if you haven't, it's on YouTube for free. And they have a Mallow episode and a Indoor Salesman episode and a Samothrace episode, as well as 079. So you can have fun with that. No, I mean other SCP shenanigans and then a slow turn into a horror movie after we're attached. Okay, I could see that. That could be fun. Dibnix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some non-dairy creamer on your way past the commissary. I got two questions. Is DARPA really the SCP Foundation? Do you know why the Scarlet King tried to kill Stephen King? So first of all, DARPA, not to my knowledge. Although I see SCP Infographics has done Is DARPA the Real Life SCP Foundation? That's interesting. I had never heard of this hypothesis before. You got me caught on the flat foot. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. I mean, you know they just do have an anomalies department now, right? US Gov Anomalies. They've got the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, otherwise known as ARROW. That is just an anomalies department in the real life US government, let alone the UIU. Meanwhile, I don't know that Scarlet King is trying to kill Stephen King. Scarlet King, Stephen King. The Crimson King. That's the Stephen King multiversal antagonist. And then King. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Control F. I mean, there's also the problem with 2293, where we just want you to know that, did you know that world-renowned writer Stephen King was once hit by a car? It's just something to consider. SCP Site Infinity, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. Welcome to the team, and thank you for your membership. Kaga, thank you for donating again. Can you talk about the MTFs? Me and my buddy are part of Epsilon 9. So, I mean, there's not much to talk about with the MTFs. There's, I mean, a whole lot of them with different jobs and purposes. MTF, Epsilon 9, of course that's going to be NTF, isn't it? No, that's the Fire Eaters. Or is it Nine-Tailed? No, that's Fire Eaters. Okay. Yeah, if you go to the Mobile Task Forces page on the wiki, it lists so many mobile task forces. And for ones that are in multiple articles, you can scroll through and see the different SCP articles they're featured in, I should say. So you can go check that out if you want all the information on mobile task forces available. Kind of a general question, but the big deal is make sure, as always, if you want to join one, you got to be the best of the best of the best, sir. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Oni Mask, welcome to the chat. Thanks for being here as a member, as well as just hanging out in general. And thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some corn dogs on your way past the commissary as you're putting George the Chinchilla in our chat. Oh, I'm lucky this whole chat is in a sea of advertisements for Saul Sislak right now. Desk, keep an eye out. At least we know the memetic filters are working. So yes, if George the Chinchilla were to encounter another pataphysical entity, the two scenarios I would imagine are, number one, George would be just a super annoying person to be around. Because what if Mickey Mouse just never stopped talking about Walt Disney? That's very frustrating. On top of which, I would also be worried that any other pataphysical entity would be metamorphized into George the Chinchilla the same way that it takes over other documents and illustrations. So it would just be another coin in the money bank of that, which could make for a very interesting animated SCP short film or film. George the Chinchilla as a villain, and the other pataphysical entities trying to save themselves from being transformed into George clones. That would work. Just to let you know, that one gay Protogen VR, I see your message down here. I haven't missed a lot of questions. I'm just getting down to them. There's a long queue right now, but I mark them when I answer them. So just to let you know, I'm working my way down the list. It's just quite a queue right now, but I'm getting to you the best of my ability. Captain Canuck, thank you for donating again. Also, I ain't in the database. Don't bother looking. Well, yes, you listed a number that belonged to another anomaly, so that makes things pretty confusing. Best N, thank you for donating again. No question this time, but enjoy some extra candy corn at the commissary. Jeremy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some juicy fruit when you get past the commissary. Hello, doctor. There are some SCP scientists at my door. Well, you should let them in, let them handle their job, and go quietly if they ask you to come with them. Voctor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some mead on your way past the commissary. What if one of the SCPs were transported into the Re-Zero world? Would the Foundation try to retrieve it? We try to contain any anomaly that gets out, so obviously we would hunt it down. Zerdrin, you get back in your box, darn it. Thank you for being a member, but do not breach containment. Yes, we would obviously try to retrieve it. Isekai anomalies are hard to chase unless we can open up our own portal to that dimension. So it does make things difficult, but we would obviously try at the very least. Glitch 101, thank you for your first donation from today's stream. Make sure to get yourself some, let's say you can get yourself some french fries at the commissary. Would 079 and Angela from Lobotomy Corp get along? I'll have to look up Angela because I'm not knowable in the Lobotomy Corp thing. So let's see what she says. Angela, Lobotomy Corp, advanced AI, blue-haired pale-skinned woman, eyes are rarely seen open, except for angry, surveillance of the facility, and thus creating alert when an abnormality breaches or employee dies, giving the player advice on how to act with abnormalities and handle breaches. Okay, so absolutely not. They would not be friends. Because 079 wants to wreck the site and release the anomalies, and Angela here wants to help the player, meaning keep things contained. So no, they would not at all be friends unless Angela does a heel turn somewhere in the game. If she turns against the player and tries to take over the site, which, ooh, it seems like it does. And if Angela turns on the player, then they would probably be best friends trying to take over the site. Although 079 is not very cooperative unless it has to be. So I don't see 079 as having very many friends in the first place. Unknown Sierra, thank you for what I believe is your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a big bucket of popcorn on your way past the commissary. Hello again, Dr. Sherman. Sorry I missed the last few live feed sessions. Also, I'm transferring to this site soon, depending on how long that lasts. You might see it. I'm not sorry in advance for all the reports I'll borrow. Well, I mean, if you need to lend out a report to therefore get up to speed on the anomalies we contain, it's fine to borrow those. Just put them back where you got them when you're done, obviously. Your boy Chili, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chili dog on your way past the commissary. If you needed to make Foundation funds up, why don't you use slices of 458 since it's safe for human consumption and always ready? You can sell slices through the stores owned by the Foundation. Yes, Desk, I got your intel on the Little Caesars, by the way. So here's the deal. We do use 458 in a rotation of the commissaries for Pizza Day. And so when it's Pizza Day, people run around and do that. The thing is, it's untenable to use that in public and inside at the same time. So we can either open an infinite pizza restaurant, but that would also break normalcy. So we're in a kind of a standstill here. it's easier just to use it to save resources money-wise on our end. We do utilize it for that purpose. SCP Site Infinity, I saw your membership. Thank you again for joining. Cool Dodd, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a snow cone on your way past the commissary. And hey, Doctor, I have a question. What would happen to 1471, aka Mellow, if it saw 096's face? Ooh. Ooh. 1471s exist on a separate plane of reality that only the person who can perceive them can perceive them. They are intangible. At first, let me see if we've got any of this on the database. SCP 096 versus 1471. Okay, so someone made a 13-second animation hypotheticaling this. SCP explained did a 682096. That's not the same. So honestly, my current hypothesis to this is that 1471 would survive because it's intangible. If a 1471 saw 096, it could not get to it. And so there's two ways this could go down. Either 096 is permanently aggro because it can't reach 1471. B, 096 eventually gives up because it did give up against 682. Or third, and maybe most likely, 096 destroys the host of 1471. Because if the person is linked to 1471 in any way, it could take out the person and therefore neutralize the 1471. It could go either way. So, interesting hypothetical. Way to go. I haven't heard someone ask that before. That one gay Protogen VR. In case I didn't send you to the commissary for something, make sure to grab yourself some ballpark francs on your way past the commissary. Does SCP-3008 have blahage? Because if so, I'd risk it for infinite blahage. So I am pretty sure that there is blahage sections inside of SCP-3008. Therefore, spread out over the infinity, you'd find multiple blahages. The thing is, you wouldn't be able to get out, most likely, unless you are one of those infinite living people who can eventually find the door forever. And so, with that in mind, I guess if you wanted to get trapped in there and start an infinite blahage horde, similar to Donkey Kong and his bananas, then maybe that could be a move for you. Although I wouldn't recommend it. Kaga, thank you for becoming a Site-42 member at the Mobile Task Force Captain tier. When you are a Mobile Task Force Captain or an Overseer at Site-42, you get access to our early access videos. That means every time we upload a video, you get to see it immediately rather than waiting for release date. Right now, we've got at least one SCP reading up for early access, as well as the next SCP Shower Thoughts video. That's dropping tomorrow for everyone else, but you can see it now. Demonjira, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some sulfur on your way past the commissary. Cell door explodes. Warning, SCP Redacted has breached containment. Object class, Keta. Well, that is not a good sound, and you donated again, thank you. Greetings, Doctor. Your cell hath failed you again. Okay. We'll talk to 4357-J. We'll get you locked up nice and tight. Just stay put for a bit. We'll get this cleaned up and we'll lock you down proper. Don't worry. We got you. You're going to be okay. Jean, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Dr. Pepper on your way past the commissary. Demon Jira also became a level 1 researcher. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for your membership. Random Fandom. Why is -J always used to denote parts of anomalies? Also, I know we can't fraternize with the anomalies, but can we fraternize with you? So -J is only used to denote joke SCPs. I mean, I guess if there were an anomaly that had -A-B all the way to -J, then that would be a part. But -J is typically joke anomalies. And so that is a different scenario from parts of anomalies. Meanwhile, obviously you can't fraternize with anomalies. And while it would be allowed to fraternize for me, sorry, not interested. And I'm hashtag annoyed and asexual that you would think so. Demon Jira, thank you for donating twice more. Try be redacted. Your facility is mine. Listen, I see the security feed right here. We're cool. And if Desk needs to get involved, well, Clef's armory is extensive. So, color me not worried. Dude, Shy Guy would be a great way to find a way to get to Mallow. If there is a way to get to him, that's how. Desk. That is a clever plan. Yes, okay. Blindfold someone who is a Mallow following them, and then put them in a room with 096 so that only 096 is seen by Mallow, not the D-Class. And as long as it doesn't decide to chase the D-Class, we've got a plan. Interesting. Keep that in mind. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. Good, the video loop is working. Good, the time loop is working. You think there's a video loop. Mwahaha. Zerdrin, hey, that Dr. Pepper is mine now. Don't take it from someone else, Zerdrin. You can get your own Dr. Pepper. The commissary is well stacked. That one gay protogen, what would happen if I stole an SCP? We would take it back. It stays in its box. No exceptions. What do you think about SCP-5000? Well, Waddle and Win, I think it is an action-filled romp that I'm very glad not to be a part of. I do not want to be in any apocalypse whatsoever. I prefer my world intact, thank you very much. But it is an interesting read, and honestly, it's already being made into a game, SCP-5K. Honestly, would be a pretty dope movie. If we were going to do SCP the movie, SCP-5000 is an easy choice for an idea to go with that could hold up one really good idea. Ah, Demon Jiro. Dira, I see you talked about the doctor we don't talk about Bruno about. Got to keep an eye on the rules of the chat because Desk will nuke that pretty quick. Always quick on the jaw. Draw. That said, your reality warping will not work. The reality anchors are also excellent. Do you have any information on Zeta 9? Well, the Royal Spade off the top of my head, I don't have any, but I can check the database. Zeta 9, SCP. So, the Mole Rats. What is the Mole Rats' current location? That's additionals. Nope. Come on. Zeta 10. No, that's Eta 10. Sorry. Zeta 9. Zeta 9 is currently last seen investigating SCP-7442. Let's look at their status. Oh, that's quite the entity they have sketched here. Crazy Triceratops with glowing eyes. This looks like somebody's super cool OC, for real. Let me control F for mole real quick. Mole rats and Jaeger bombers are on site. Former to continue the exploration of the bunker and the dialogue with 7442 Gamma. Latter on call if the entity breaches current containment. All right, continuing to check. No mole rats here. No mole rats here. No more mention there. No more mention there. Okay. Well, it seems that containment did not work for 7442. Therefore, I am a little bit worried for the sake of the mole rats. Someone should check on Zeta 9. Steve, get Zeta 9 on the comms. Make sure they're okay. Okay? Okay. Oh, here we are. Kaga, thank you for your next donation. What's your take on the Overlord VCR clip? I don't remember the VCR clip from SCP Overlord. Let me take a look. Going in, doing a quick silent scrub. That's going in, looking at stuff. Looking at walls, looking at doors. VCR clip. Nope, that's the person in the hallway. That's not a... I need more information here because I'm having trouble scrubbing to it. Is there a time code for the VCR clip in there? I'll keep this on in the background for when you let me know. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. I'm not placing those reports back where I found them. Instead, I'm throwing them on your desk and leaving a note saying I tried. P.S. I saw your coffee supply. You need to get better coffee. Hey, the new coffee guys in the West Wing are stellar. You must have gone to the old coffee shop in the East Wing. They're not nearly as good. I completely agree. But the West Wing, the new guys are doing a great job. Let's not be hasty here. Beyond that, Steve, I need you to clean up some documents. Unknown Sierra is being lazy again. I'm going to have to put demerits on your personnel record for that. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again, and thank you for going back to your cell. That's what we do here at the Foundation. We keep anomalies where they belong in their cells, secure, contained, and protected. Cool Dodd, thank you for donating again. Hey, Doctor, why don't we trap 096 in 3008 the Infinite IKEA? So here's the deal. When it comes to putting anomalies in the IKEA, there's one big reason we would never, ever, ever do that. It's because when you come from the outside to the Infinite IKEA, there's one door in one IKEA that gets you in. And in fact, we have drilled through other walls of the IKEA to get in, and it's just a normal IKEA in there. You only get transported to the Infinite IKEA from this one front door. But when you're inside the Infinite IKEA, then, as soon as you lose sight of the door, it is liable to up and move on you, which means you don't know where the door is anymore. And if you don't know where the door is anymore, you can't get out. So people think it's an infinite space. We can go in and store things in there, but we wouldn't do that because we can't get out reliably. And immortal SCPs, like 682 or 096, if they get locked in there, yeah, the place is infinite, but they also have infinite time to find the door. And that means that if we just lock them in there, they're going to get out eventually. It is a statistical fact. Therefore, no, we do not put anomalies inside the 3008. Crazy Nano, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some crazy bread on your way past the commissary. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. Oh, look, a portal. Whoop. Jerry, where'd the mind-flaying lizard go? Oh, you ended up with Jerry? Oh, man. I feel sorry for you. No one likes Jerry. Have fun. Sheesh. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what if we put me, a toaster, inside SCP-914? Would I turn into a similar object, forcing others to refer to myself in the first person? So, I believe that if you put me inside of SCP-914, if you put me in there on rough, then you would get a pile of anomalous pieces of me that still had my effect. Just like my screws have my effect. You would simply just be disassembling me. But, and therefore if you put it in very rough, you just get very destroyed apparatus of me. If you put me in 914 on fine, I don't believe you get another appliance with my properties. I think I would end up gaining a stronger effect of some sort. Maybe that you would end up talking about me and thinking about me, even if you were thinking about other things. And that would be very dangerous. I don't even want to know what would happen on very fine. Ooh. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. You can't touch my profile. And by the way, if Internal Affairs knocks on your door with mobile task force because it gathered enough evidence on you to warrant investigation into your abilities, you may be an SCP deceiving us all. Well, first of all, I very much can touch your personnel file. You have no sway over that, believe me. And secondly, Internal Affairs knows all about me and my completely unanomalous self. In no way an SCP in any way. Everyone is knowledgeable and well-versed and has nothing to worry about there. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it, huh? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Demon Jira. Jerry is juicy. Oh, I didn't want to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear that. Mr. Coyle, how the hell do you have God in a cell? What, like it's hard? Do you know how many gods we have in containment? Usually they're even easier to contain because they're so arrogant. Their hubris is immediately their downfall. So simple, so simple. Would the 4 pixels of 096s be a good way to protect extremely sensitive documents? I imagine an undercover GOC operative opening a file named Super Top Secret Info about O5 Council and Gonzo. So here's the deal. We have better cognitohazards for that. The situation is that if we put 096's 4 pixels on a document, it would nuke anybody who saw it. It'd be good for a trap, but it wouldn't be good to protect documents that we actually need to look at. So that's what the cognitohazards that we can inoculate ourselves with are for. I mean, I like the way you're thinking, though. We got to protect things and contain and secure them, and you're thinking about extra powerful ways to do that, so good on you. Could you train an SCP? Well, Void, actually, many SCPs have undergone training from here at the Foundation. It's helped us to communicate with them, as well as improve their time in containment and their temperament. A very good example of this would be SCP-5031, yet another murder monster. Except it wasn't a murder monster. It was actually a wonderful cook and concert pianist. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. I'm taking this comedy mask. I mean, that's fine, I guess. It was nice knowing you. We'll put you back in the box once your body has been huskified. People love to get themselves into all sorts of trouble. Dr. Sherman, my favorite. Oh, well, thank you, Mark. Very kind of you. Keep up the good work. Dr. Sherman, how could you tell if SCP-055 breached? Well, we would first have to have an SCP-055 for there to be a breach of it. So I guess we wouldn't worry about it. Sun Furious, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some liquid hot magma on your way past the commissary. If Sin from Murder Drones was in the SCP universe, how would the Foundation contain her? Well, I'm not extremely well versed with the Murder Drones anomalies, but let me take a cursory look and see what I discover. Major antagonist, partially served as final antagonist in the finale. Worker drone, improperly disposed of. Absolute solver mutating inside of her and taking her as a host, cause destruction. Many major events in the series, from a massacre to disassembly drone deployment. Aliases. Occupation. And I'm going to have to look at the absolute solver. We looked at this earlier this week, but it had something we had to deal with. Hybrid form, personality. Pilot, season 1, season so on, dead end. Mass destruction, absolute end. Abilities. Telekinesis, teleportation, eldritch transformation, electrokinesis, black hole creation, expert handwork, hologram projection, holographic shapeshifting, callback ping, impossible state survival, head reattachment, scanner vision, possession, solver metamorphosis, tentacle manifestation, weakness, picking up small objects. Okay. Well, that's not much of a weakness for containment, that is. And then the absolute solver as a side quest. Main antagonist. Extremely advanced hostile eldritch intelligence of unknown origin. All right, so it's an AI, essentially. They were able to exercise it, leaving it starved at the planet it sought to devour. Failed in its goal of eradicating the planet due to its efforts of the protagonists. Successfully destroying Sin's heart, Uzi stopped the solver from attempting to return to its host by swallowing its core, causing the amalgamation of Sin and Tessa's corpse to be dissolved into nothing but blood and oil, while the solver remains trapped inside of Uzi. Well, it seems like we have our answer there. It sounds like we just have to put the core inside something that can contain it. It'd probably be a very big fight because that's a lot of abilities. And we'd have to probably use some sort of reality ballast of types. Thankfully, isn't this happening in a galaxy far, far away that we don't even have to deal with it yet? Where does this take place? Or is it in the far, far future? Because yes, it is just trying to destroy the Earth, at least. We know that much. All right, well, that tells me enough that... Oh, wait a minute, I got distracted there for a second. That tells me enough to decide that we're working with a reality-bending... first of all, the main idea here is that it, above all else, it's got weird reality-bending abilities there. Actually, it didn't actually bend reality, did it? It more like... it had eldritch abilities, but it wasn't really reality bending. If it were a reality bender, I would have Clef handle it with a bullet. But since it seems to be containable inside of Uzi, I would assume that we could find a way to contain the core as well. So that would be my plan, especially with enough forces and advanced technology and anomalies to fight against it. That being said, it also sounds like it's going to implement some world-ending events. But then again, it was stopped by like 5 people. So I guess it was in trouble, but it wasn't that much trouble. Maybe if they had an SCP Foundation, it would have been an easier time. Demon Jira. Oh, me? No, I'm putting it on Mark. Thank you for donating again. And what are you putting on? Oh, you're putting the mask on Mark. What did Mark do to you? Does Mark deserve that? Doesn't sound nice to me. Cool Dodd, thank you for donating again. Hey, Doctor, why don't we renumber 096 to 049, the number that erases everything? I believe you mean 048 is the number that erases everything? Maybe a digit off there? Because 049 is definitely the Plague Doctor. Yep. The answer is because 048 is the cursed number, and that things can be destroyed, decommissioned, stolen, or lost to the Foundation. And those last two, we don't want to have to happen with 096. So with a 50-50 shot of bad things happening, we're not going to risk that for sure. Amber, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some power pellets on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, you say you're not an SCP, but you are on the SCP database. Hey, I'm only on the database researching anomalies and being accused of crimes that I absolutely didn't commit and was completely vindicated of, thank you. So, yes, I'm in the database as a researcher, not as an anomaly. Thank you. Kaga, thank you for donating again. It's not really a VCR clip, but a voice recording when they unlock the vault. Okay, let's go to the vault. Checking. They're going in the vault. I got the captions on. Let's see what it says. Ooh, what you say? From the spooky recording that's gonna kill those guys. Ooh, what you say? Okay, so that's just chatter. Yeah, look this guy over. Absolutely nothing will go wrong with that. Transcendent plane disappearances. Very nice. Okay, so what do I think of that? Well, I think it's a bad sign for anyone involved, very obviously. There's all sorts of different kinds of transcendent planes that people get sucked into by anomalies. So, I mean, that's just run-of-the-mill business for us. Clone 378, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some rations on your way past the commissary. If a Space Marine from Warhammer 40k were to appear, how would the Foundation react? Put it in a box. Study their technology. That was an easy question. One of them, we don't have to worry about it. It's just one guy. We could take down one Space Marine. Demon Jiro, thank you for donating again. I'm the mind-flaying reptile. I'm an evil, fellow. Well, you're really causing a ruckus, and you're going to have problems if you keep it up. I suggest you get back in your box before things get serious. Zero, is this your first donation to today's stream? It's hard to keep track. Yes, it is. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself, I guess, some cheese balls at the commissary, but not the anomalous ones. Update: the cheese ball anomaly has been secured and contained and are moving to processing machines to Site 42's cafeteria. They're safe to eat. Let's test that on some D-Class before we feed it to the staff. We don't need another incident with the... Oh, that wasn't a good time. Yes, test it on the D-Class first. Desk, thank you for donating to get your point across. With the 055 talk, do you think Clef knows what it is? Who do you think has better plot armor? Mary Sue Alto Clef or a plot device for moving story? Who has better plot armor? The anti-memetic anomaly or the... I mean, wait a minute. Clef is a reality sink. Obviously, that disables the anomalous intent, which is bad if knowing about the anomaly causes other issues in reality. So, yeah, I believe Clef could figure it out based on the reality sink definition, but I think it could cause more problems. Demon Jira, only if I get a day with 999. On one hand, I don't want to negotiate with terrorists. On the other hand, I'm trying to have office hours and you're causing a mess. But on the other hand, I can't negotiate with terrorists. You get a day with 999 if you take 3 days of cleanup duty in the commissary. United Nations Space Command, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Welcome back. Make sure to grab yourself some papayas on your way past the commissary. Help, I accidentally... No... Look, I saw the footage of this event, and I promise you, it wasn't what you think it was. Oh, you really shouldn't have done that. But you deserved it for your continued attempts to fraternize with the anomaly. And we are posting it on the site-wide channel after this stream. So you have X amount of time to make up for your mistake before everyone gets to see what a mess you made. Clone 378, thank you for your next donation. Second question, how would the Foundation go about attempting to contain a chaos sorcerer, which are oftentimes space marines who are psychers? Well, we would have to use thaumaturgy to disable their psychering. We have plenty of thaumaturges in the Foundation, so extra credit for the magic using. Cool Dodd, thank you for donating again. Attention, all site personnel. Listening. Mobile Task Force Epsilon 11, call sign, November 5, has entered the facility. Attention to all personnel. Evacuate to the nearest safe area. All right, we're locked in. We're safe. All is well. VW, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some unleaded on your way past the commissary. Guardigan, what is your least favorite site? I mean, obviously, Site 13 has too much going on to be any fun to go to. So, I don't like taking duty over there. Site 19 is also just way too dangerous. There's too much going on, and some of those doctors get a little iffy. Get a little quirky. Desk, you work here. It's not unfair if your questions get answered. You work here. Just don't abuse your power too much, but abuse it a little, man. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. You want me, a 100-foot-long mutant brain-melting reptile, to clean? Yeah, obviously. I mean, Godzilla does his duty. You can do yours. Hank, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Cheese Whiz on your way past the commissary. You, Foundation member, you got a reality-compromising clown in containment? I gotta bring him back to the Madness Combat verse. Listen. You let him come here. It, again. Anomalies are not people, no matter how much they make me mad. You let it come here. You let it loose. We're keeping it in a box. You should be thankful. Derek, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Twinkie Wiener sandwich on your way past the commissary. Who's the strongest god? 343, the deer, the Scarlet King. Have you finally let them all fight it out yet? Gotta see who wins. So, of those gods you've listed and the so many gods that we have in containment, we're not letting them fight. The ripples of this would destroy the entire universe. We just keep them in their boxes. And if they play nice and they don't blow up the world, we have no problems. Sheesh, you're all power scalers and rock and sock'em roboters. All right, the browser is reset again, so I can come back to here. Demonjira, thank you for donating again. F it, give me a mop. Glad you are listening to reason. Dork Matter, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some antimatter on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, this is Dr. Matter. Did you finally move on from the screaming tree? I will never move on from SCP-4521. That tree will scream. I promise you that. On my mother's grave, and my mother's mother's grave, and my mother's father's cousin's sister's former roommate's grave. That tree will scream. Solace Bedlam, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some, let's say some pineapple on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, is Apollo the Greek god in containment? I don't know. Let me check the database. I know we have a couple of Greek ones in here. Ba-da-da. All right, 2248 is a shrine with reconstructed statues of Apollo. 2143 is described as the Greek god Apollo. Are you serious? Is it that easy? Literally Apollo? 2143 is a Greek male, approximately 30 years old. Black hair, brown eyes. Non-anomalous in nature, but possesses extreme proficiency with all musical instruments, an eidetic memory for an unknown number of songs, and a singing voice. The personnel describe as pleasant and enjoyable. You're serious. This is just Apollo, is what you're telling me. Doesn't say it's Apollo. Played to a single specific Omicron event. Its singing causes Omicron events. My father said I need to stop singing and get to work, but my music is my soul, my passion. Drove the old bastard crazy. I don't know why. Probably help him with the ladies. Okay. Thanks to everyone in the chat for the 4 months. Help me out the ground. Perhaps whoever can figure out the true inspiration piece. Hint, it's not Greek. Okay. Really, I was thinking his true identity was Apollo since he called talking his father like talking to lightning. I hope someone figures it out soon because I'm neutral voting right now and I hope the big reveal can change that. The character in the piece is Apollo. The inspiration for the piece is a character from a Franco-Belgian comic called Asterix, whose singing is so bad that it literally causes it to rain. Okay, so, whoever asked that, I guess that Giyu Toimoka, that Apollo the Greek god is in containment. Specifically, SCP-2143. I guess it just is. Dr. Gerald, the character who explodes any form of vehicle they sit in, somehow survive, be weaponized. Oh. if we needed to very quickly take out a global occult coalition building, I would send Dr. Gerald on a drive. That would just be really easy, especially because he always comes out fine. Why is Gerald fine every time? That's just an unlimited array of missiles for every car we have in the motor pool. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. Wall mopping even. Dr. Sherman, why is there a Birdman on the ceiling? A Birdman? Is it Michael Keaton? Are they filming on site? How did they get on site? Who approved a film set? I didn't know they were doing a sequel to Birdman. This is very peculiar. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a baguette on your way past the commissary. 049 gave me, I quote, the cure. My skin is purple and I hear colors and taste sound. Help. Oh, so you're a zombie. You're a zombie. Your skin is purple as in rotting. And you're hearing colors and tasting sound because it helps you hunt people. Well, Desk, I leave it to you to decommission that zombie. Zero, thank you for donating again. No, cheese balls are safe to consume. Consume. You're not very trustworthy in this moment, I see. Let's not and say we didn't. Zerdrin. Sherman, you're right. The coffee in the East Wing is better. Thanks for that. Happy to help. We're always trying to improve things here. Oh, Demon Jira, you got desked. I'm sorry I didn't see your message, but you got to watch out for those rules, of which the rules, there are two. Number one, we don't talk about Bruno. That guy does not exist here. If he's got a funny amulet, he doesn't exist to Site 42. And second, you got to watch it with comments of a sexual nature. Out of character, I am an adult. We are all adults, but you never know who's going to show up. I don't want to have to age gate the stream. So you could be oblique and we can make a little bit of jokes. You don't fraternize with the anomalies, but toe the line. Let's not get Daddy YouTube mad at us here. And cursing, I mean, don't go nuts with it. I'm fine, especially if you're doing like asterisks. That's cool, Desk. We can be easy to that. This is that kind of stream, I think. Let's not go crazy. We're not quite a Rocky Horror Picture Show here. We're more like a public Renaissance fair level of acting and conversation. Epsilon 35, I'm not familiar with Project Moon. What is that? Oh, I think I already looked at this for another thing. It's just something I don't recall. Oh, this is Lobotomy Corp again. Yes, that's why. They're the makers of Lobotomy Corp. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again and again. I said a word, I guess the thing misinterpreted. My bad. It happens. Desk is very swift with the hammer, and we appreciate Clef taking care of the site like this. Sometimes we just gotta find our balance. Jonathan again, thank you for donating again. I don't think I'm a zombie, I have a heartbeat. Well, that's a bit peculiar. 049 doesn't usually cure things and leave them alive. Are you sure it gave you the cure and not a cure for something else? Keep that in mind. Clone 378, thank you for donating again. Would the Foundation ally with Optimus Prime? So here's the deal. First and foremost, we would absolutely contain any Autobot or Decepticon that we found. We would lock that up immediately. Easiest way to protect the world, stop them from fighting and blowing things up, just put them in boxes. Especially if we could find a way to deactivate them. That being said, if it turned into a world-ending event where the Decepticons or that big ultimate thing, the ball that eats planets that I forget its name of right now, showed up, then we might team up with Optimus Prime to try and save the world, blah, blah, blah. Rather just keep it in a box. Lockjaw, thank you for donating. For the first time for this stream, grab yourself a milkshake at the commissary since I guess your teeth are locked. If 2761 eats a piece of SCP-682, that's not a full question. And also I need to know what a 2761 is. I might even know what it is. There's just so many numbers that they get mixed up in my head. Bananazilla. Oh, we did talk about this the other day. So we're not going to test that. Very bad things could happen. And you're crazy to suggest it. Demon Jira. Clef Desk is offering in the chat to make it up to you about donating your, or denying your question wrongfully for the curse word. So if you want to tag Desk with your question, they'll pass that on to me to clean it up. Your host, Fritz. Thank you for being a member, good sir, as well as donating for your first time to the stream. Grab yourself a spot of tea on the way past the commissary. My good fellow, care to do some Site 1 business? I did talk about Site 1 the other day and send some people your way if they wanted to do some SCP role-playing. That's not what we're going to do in a big sense here. I don't have time to run a big SCP roleplay. But you seem to be doing a pretty good job, so if people want to search Google for simply Site-01 SCP roleplay, it is the first thing that comes up. So you can check that out if you want to join the Discord server for role-playing. Panda457, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Daikon on your way past the commissary. Which of Wondertainment's toys do you like most? Which of Wondertainment's toys do I like most? Interesting question. Let me go to his hub and take a look at the list. There's so many fun ones. All the Misters. Dinosaur, Lollipop, Shift at the Factory, Adventuring Interlude, and I think to myself, I'm the star. So many SCPs from Dr. Wondertainment. There's so many of them. I think today I'm going to talk about the Alien. SCP Wondertainment Alien. 3551 is Dr. Wondertainment's Inflatable Invasion. It is a delightful little alien balloons that do funny invasion toy games. They are harmless, which is always a benefit for Wondertainment toys. Did it get in a fight with a cat? Got in a fight with a dog. Yes, 3551 are chill alien balloons. That is going to be my favorite Wondertainment toy for today. Maybe next time I'll pick a different one. Last donation, good night. I'm going to go to my cell. Good night, Demon Jira. Thank you for joining us in the stream, and thank you for all of your donations to help the Site-42 cause. Solace Bedlam, thank you for donating again. On behalf of the Wandsman Horizon Initiative, has uncovered some information about the whereabouts of Site-07. The Wandsman? I know that name. SCP Wandsman. GOI focus on reporting. Oh, dang it. You keep us out of the news. You do not need to be telling people where our sites are. We will redact you so hard, you'll wish you hadn't been redacted so hard. Shh. Nosy reporters. Derek, thank you for donating again. Do the O5 and doctors like SCP versus SCP? Listen, don't tell nobody, but sometimes we have been known to have some of the lower danger anomalies do death battles. Not really to death, just funning around. Pesterbot gets in some really good fights. It's always a laugh. Always a laugh. Pesterbot versus the Vase, comic gold. So good. But don't tell anybody I told you that. Demon Jira, thank you for donating again. Oh, desk, you chill with desk. But I do ask a coffee from that anomalous drink machine of yours. Seems fair, desk. You can grab a coffee to make up for that. I know we don't talk about SCP Fight Club. Desk. Dang it. Look, I just thought we were recruiting, okay? Seemed like they might be interested. And you know, we're having a budgetary problem right now. And with a budget shortfall like this, getting more people involved with the thing we don't talk about and betting on the fights could be a really good way to make up the budget shortfall, okay? Is this allowed, like the stream? With the O5, what would the O5 think of this? Ha ha ha, don't worry about this. We are all friends here in the SCP Foundation staff. If you are seeing this stream, you are obviously allowed to be here because you're SCP Foundation staff members. If you were an SCP Foundation staff, your phone wouldn't have got past the mimetic filters to see what's going on here. You would just be seeing some funny cat videos, but you're not because you work for us. If you didn't know you work for us, I'm sorry to reveal for you that you're a sleeper agent that we just activated. You'll find your instructions in a folder under your chair. Good luck, agent. Solace, thank you for donating again. You misunderstood. I'm relaying Horizon Initiative found Site 107. We haven't informed the public yet. Well, are you with them? Oh, wait, you're a wandsman. And the Horizon Initiative found Site 07. That's what you're informing us of. Well, don't tell nobody, and I'll handle the Horizon Initiative. And I guess thanks for the intel. If you're looking for some sort of reward, maybe I can send you a bite of some intel we have on another GOI in return for you helping us with this. Exo Lord of Hell, 682 already beat 096 in a fight. On the wiki, it's canon. Jonathan, Dr. Sherman, there's a leaked video of Site 42 out. I highly doubt that, but if so, send me the link. Let's get this cleaned up. Robin, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream. Yes, it is. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious chicken tenders on your way past the commissary. Imagine doing some SCP woodworking as enrichment. I think some people would pay a fortune for a desk, bench, or chair made by 105. Does Iris have a woodworking hobby that I didn't know about? I mean, hey, if we gotta sell some chairs, I'll put some SCPs to work. Do I hear sweatshop? Do I hear sweatshop? Panda, thank you for donating again. You are allowed edit, ask Dr. Wondertainment 001 question, and he answers correctly. What is it? Okay, autocorrect really tore that to hell on you, and I don't know what you're asking. I would say if you're asking if you ask Dr. Wondertainment what 001 is, he would not know what it is. He's not in our databases. Eva, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some mixed vegetables on your way past the commissary. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. So how mad would you be if I accidentally use your spare code as a part of bait for 682? Want to see if he can jump up, and he didn't like it and knows your name now thanks to the name tag. I'm not wearing the black lab coat because I'm sitting in a dark lab, and it shows the white lab coat better. But that's the one with my name on it. You took my good lab coat. Thankfully, 682 already knew who I was. It's just a matter that now you've made him ornery. Ornery. Object. Anomalies are objects. They don't get he, him pronouns. They are it. I'm just distraught because I don't want to get in another fight tomorrow when I have to drop by the site. And also, you wasted my good lab coat. Gonna give you Keter duty. Redmaster, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself a delicious egg on your way past the commissary. Can explain SCP-8980 in a summary for new staff. You really want me to traumatize the new staff? That's what you're asking. Ay, caramba. Listen, a long story short this for you. As far as the document reads, wait, I'm trying to pull it up. As far as the document reads, what we're dealing with is researcher Lillian Marley has an anomaly that causes electronics to glitch around her, usually in embarrassing and humiliating ways. And we're trying to help her. And you know, head researcher of the project, head researcher Christopher Burns, is certainly doing his best to try and help her out so she can return to work. And obviously, there's nothing going on wrong with that situation that would cause people horrid emotional trauma. Because it's just a run-of-the-mill day at the Foundation dealing with SCP-8980. You dig me? Ooh. Behind the scenes, out of character, all of my homies hate Christopher Burns. You heard the name researcher Christopher Burns? We hate that guy. That guy sucks. That guy deserves the worst things that could ever happen to anybody. It's all that easy. Also, if you do read 8980, horribly traumatizing. Bad time all around. Great story. Hate it. So good. Panda, thank you for donating again to help me understand. Anyone questioned SCP-001? What is it? I mean, depending on the 001, it isn't like you could ask it a question. Like Lily's proposal 001 is just the end of the world. And the factory is a factory. You can't really ask a factory questions. The Gate Guardian isn't very talkative. So it depends on which 001 you're talking about, but we're not getting a lot of answers out of most of them. That's probably why they're SCPs. Razor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself some butterscotch cinnamon pie on your way past the commissary. What is the Foundation doing when Conquest tells them to stand ready for his arrival? We're going to do pretty much exactly what... We're going to do a better job than Cecil did. Because we have better resources than what Cecil did. That being said, it still wouldn't be very easy to deal with a Viltrumite in general. But we have means. And so hopefully we'd be the first one to make contact. We could limit any damage. But yeah, at the point where it's intransigent as an anomaly and it just keeps fighting, we would have to damage it like we do with 682 to the point where we could then contain it. We would obviously do what Cecil did, which is keep it contained and alive. That to get information. We definitely have the same amount of hubris to do that. We wouldn't destroy it. And we do our best. Okay, all clear here. Mudo Axel, hello Site 42. What happened to the other sites? Oh, the other sites are doing fine. It's just that, besides my site director duties, I'm also in charge of public relations and for the site. And so my job is to broadcast to you guys and give you guys intel. And so the other sites don't really have a PR wing as much. That's mainly my duty. So I handle that. And in case we ever have a broken masquerade scenario, Oh, that's going to be a hard job. I'm not going to like that. But I've got practice, so we'll probably be fine. How is my favorite chef? 5031. Drawing guy Nika. 5031's doing great. It's currently doing a tour of sites to provide meals and entertainment for morale. It's going great. Robin, thank you for donating again. Oh crap, I just noticed on Iris's file, not a good idea to put her near bladed woodworking tools. She has some self-destructed tendencies on the Omega-7 days. Ooh, I don't remember that for her file, but yeah, let's not give any content warning self-harm going on. We need to keep the anomalies alive after all. Chat, I just noticed we passed 500 likes. Congratulations. You guys are really doing a top job today. All of you, grab a brewski on your way past the commissary. Non-alcoholic or not. Your choice. As long as you're off shift. If you're on shift, non-alcoholic only. Zinc Adam, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a brewski with everyone at the commissary. Hello, Mr. Dr. Sherman. It's a title. Hope you're having a good day and wish you an amazing weekend. Have a good night. Oh, you too. I have work on the weekend. I work all the time. But I will be keeping up trying to fix this budget shortfall, and you are helping out, so very much appreciated. Take care and have a good night. Does the SCP staff like Lincoln Park? Maybe you should stay till the end of stream, which is in about an hour. Maybe you should stay till the end of stream, and you'll see just how much we like Lincoln Park here. Razor, thank you for donating again. How long before the Foundation either teams up with Lobotomy Corporation or sues them for stealing their entire flow? Well, Lobotomy Corp is very SCP Foundation-like. You gotta admit that. But there's a lot of games like that. I mean, Control is a lot like that. This game Pressure that I was just showed tonight is very SCP-like. We can't chase down everyone who thinks the SCP Foundation cool. We can just tell them, hey, we're here too, and we're also cool. Zinthus, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Ichor on your way past the commissary. I looked into SCP-023's eyes while feeding it. What do I do? Database check. 023. You looked into its eyes. The Black Shuck. And what happens if you look in the Black Shuck's eyes? You probably just die, right? That's at least what the legendary thing is. Good doggo, bad doggo. Yep, you have 1 year after breaking eye contact, so either... I mean, you're not going to keep eye contact for very long, so start making your end-of-life planning is what you should do. Robin, thank you for donating again. But SCP Redacted, a Quebecois who's immune to amnestics, was a hand tool woodworker by trade. We could see something to supplement funds with that talent. Hey, if we can get a little Ron Swanson going and make some, especially if we can make some doors and tables in-house so we don't have to buy things so often, that would also be helpful. Boat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some sea salt ice cream on your way past the commissary. Sir, I looked at a picture of 096. Goodbye, my friend. It was nice knowing you. Hi, Skibbity Defender. Thank you for being a fan of the channel. Rura Scarlet, good to see you in the chat. Hello, Hiking Combat. Hello, Jackson. Salute the goose. Not gonna lie, you kinda look like my PE teacher. Listen, we've all got day jobs, okay? Just shh. Technically Filming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself something from Craft Services at the commissary. Question, what classifies as an entity/anomaly? If you are anything that is abnormal by baseline reality, you are an anomaly. For entities, this usually is some sort of unnatural power or ability. For objects, it's doing things that those objects typically don't do. It's very, very plain to see if an anomaly is an anomaly by if it's anomalous. Razor, thank you for donating again. How would the Foundation contain Wonder of You from JoJo? The stand seems particularly annoying to contain. That's what I can tell from the video with the Death Battle cast. Now, I believe what I would say is... we would have to prepare a trap that we did not expect it to come in, because we would have D-Class amnesticize and ordered to do it, and they don't know they're doing it. That is my first thought. Because you have to know you're pursuing it. You have to have the idea to pursue it. So we'd have the D-Class do it unknowingly, amnesticized. Now, I haven't read JoJo or seen it. I don't know if that is accounted for by the fate of Wonder of You. But that's my starting line. Deca the Red Panda, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some blueberry pie on your way past the commissary. Or no, you're a red panda, have some bamboo. Hello, Doc. I've watched your content silently for over a year, and I'm very nervous, so here's $5 to show appreciation. Well, thank you so much for watching as well as your donation. You don't got to be nervous. We're all here in the chat. Foundation researchers working together, talking through our SCP containment needs. Very nice to work with you, Deca. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. I was told by Dr. Redacted to steal your pen. Sorry. I'd like to see you try. It's right here. Do your worst. Or your best. Either doesn't matter. What happens if I put 999 in a blender? You get Keter duty, Dorian. Boat, thank you for donating again. Glad to see you're still alive so far. Didn't you guys send 096 into the sun? In the universe that we sent 096 into the sun, number one, it didn't perish. And number two, the sun started moving toward that Earth. Meaning 096 was rage pulling the sun somehow. We didn't look into what happened after that because we assumed that universe was done for. Or at least that Earth was done for. Wait, what about SCPs? Do they like Linkin Park? Well, of the SCPs that are allowed music privileges, I am sure some of them are Linkin Park fans. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Null. Sherman, I hit my head. I'm sorry to hear that. Go stop by medical. Get some ice. Fizzy Freak. Hello, just joined. I'd like to say I look up to you. Well, I am honored. I hope it's due to my fantastic work here at the Foundation and not just because I'm tall. Ba-doomts. And so, yes, be the best SCP researcher you can be. Good luck. Robin, thank you for donating again. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just opening a tunnel into the 40K universe and calling the Inquisition on you personally. And so we're going to stop you because you donated to say that, which means I now know what you're doing, and we're going to put a freeze on that. So, thank you for revealing your plan by monologuing. Very clever. Everyone appreciated that. Skywatcher. I love this. Glad to hear it. What if the real pestilence was the friends we made along the way? Well, it got my buddy Raymond killed, so maybe not. Maybe it's not the friends we made along the way. Maybe it's the friends we lost due to some douchebag doctor with a bird beak face. Jack, love your channel. Please do more shower thoughts. Well, Jack, I'm glad you enjoy the channel. Thank you for joining us in the stream. And remember, tomorrow we are dropping the next SCP Shower Thoughts with SCP Wyatt video. That is tomorrow morning, if you're in my time zone. And so you can check that out early access if you're a member of Site 42 at the level 2 tier or higher. Otherwise, it's coming out tomorrow, so be ready. And we're going to start filming the next one soon. Jordan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some sweet tarts on your way past the commissary. What would happen if SCP-999 stared at SCP-096? I believe 096 would try to murk 999, but because 999 is a gelatinous blob, it would just sit there taking it. It would tickle 096, which might cheer it up and get it to stop attacking. Or, like 682, it would just get bored because it can't end 999 the same way it couldn't end 682. And so it would have a panic attack and cry to itself and give up. Jonathan, thank you for your next donation. Is that your pen or is this your pen? Well, this is my pen. It's been here the whole time. Robin, thank you for donating again. Too late. The Sororitas tactical drop churches are already over Site 42. It was the Ordo Hereticus called on you. Good luck explaining your case to the Sisters of Battle. Those warrior nuns are crazy. Okay. Well, they're going to have to wait till stream's over. So I hope they're patient. And then maybe out the back door. We'll make it work. I'll just have to press the red button over in Sector 7G. And we'll see how long they hang out up there. Before I die, can Steve from Minecraft be considered an SCP? Well, it's just a video game character, so I don't believe it's an SCP. Is Bendy and the Ink Machine an SCP? No, it's a video game. Don't you dare steal Sherman's pens. Damn right, Leah. Robot Not a Bot, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself some grease over at the commissary. Jonathan, has it or do you think it has? I played Slay the Princess. I know how to work semantic reality into being actual reality. So yes, it has. There's no doubt in my mind. Anomalies are objects. I'm taking offense to that. I'm taking 999 to my dimensional something or other before the chat scrolled away and I couldn't finish your sentence. Well, you're not taking anything out of the site, Zerdrin. I'm sorry to say, you will find our security is quite tight around here. Tight like a toiga. Waiting for this to load. I just saw something happen. Project 7, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some 7-Up on your way past the commissary. Been a fan for a long time. Well, glad to hear it. Does the Foundation have a stand on the Federal Bureau of Control from Control? Obviously not a GOI currently, however. So, the FBC is actually quite similar to the UIU, the Unusual Incidents Unit that is in the SCP lore. in that they don't have quite the budget that the Foundation has because they work for the US government, and everything the US government does is horribly underfunded because of the oligarchy. And so because they don't tax the rich, they don't have the funds to do anything useful, which is why they keep getting taken over and overtaken by things. So while I appreciate what they're trying to do at the FBC, they really need to up their game, which means they need their bosses to let them up their game. Very fun game, though. Clone378, thank you for donating again. Outside of Linkin Park, what other bands do you listen to? So my day job is I teach ballroom dancing, and that means I listen to a lot of music, all kinds. I'm a big fan of pretty much all music, but I would say my favorite bands are, funnily enough, all Canadian for some reason. I'm a big fan of Great Big Sea, the Bare Naked Ladies, and the Saltines. They are some of the best. Also, Carly Rae Jepsen, I think, is Canadian, and I do love me some Carly. So, and besides them being like my favorite bands and artists, I also enjoy emo pop. Love me some emo pop and some emo. One of my first concerts was My Chemical Romance way back in the day, during the Three Cheers era. Technically Filming, thank you for donating again. Because found an object metallic in nature but changes its matter by command believed to be sentient. Technically Filming, let me confirm what your second thing was. Metallic in nature but yet changes its matter by command believed to be sentient. Well, if you are able to put it in a box for now, we can run some experiments on it later. Robot Not a Bot, thank you for donating again. How many SCPs have music privileges at Site-42? I can check the database on that. Let me check. SCP privileges at Site-42 and Euclid to Keter. All right. So it looks like we've got 15 Euclids have chosen music privileges. Now listen, you got to choose your privileges. So even if you earn privileges, you might not pick the same one. Some people want book privileges. Some people want socializing privileges. But right now, 15 Euclids are utilizing music privileges and 3 Keters. Sliced Grenade, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a kumquat on your way past the commissary. What anomalous properties do you think my channel name would have? Well, a sliced grenade is just a grenade that has been sliced. That doesn't necessitate an anomalous property. It's just a grenade that's been sliced in half, as far as I can tell. So, none. Deca, thank you for donating again. I have my bamboo and I'm ready for sleep. Good night, everyone, and thanks for making me smile. If you manage to make me smile, you are all my friends. Thank you for joining us and piping up. It's nice to chat with you. Hopefully, we'll see you again in a future stream. Just a quick reminder for everybody, since we've been at this for about 2 hours and change, we're about 35 minutes from the end of stream, on top of which we are streaming as much as I possibly can over the next couple of weeks to months, because I'm trying to, since the 1 million sub success of Site-42, I'm trying to find more ways to be in touch with you guys. I can make the SCP rating videos. I can make the Shower Thoughts videos. I'm starting up the X is not an SCP. But I'm also trying to just build up my stamina for doing more streaming and work. So earlier I recorded an SCP before coming on stream. I'm doing some freelance editing after stream. So I'm trying to like fit it into my schedule so I can do channel work and hang out with you guys as well. So we're trying to get more community interaction since we're so big and friendly now. So just make sure you're hitting the bell so you see future streams. Boat, thank you for donating again. I'm still alive somehow. Thank you for the report. Maybe your 096 fell into a dimensional portal and it'll take a while to get there. Maybe you got lucky. Nuke Wizard, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Nuka-Cola Quantum on your way past the commissary. Make the tree scream or kill 682. Both things I would love to do, but we can't yet. But soon. Shark Wrangler, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Salation Shake on your way past the commissary. Hi, I like your videos. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you enjoy them. We're putting in the work and we want to make it enjoyable for you guys. Cerberus, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some dog treats on your way past the commissary. Is it possible for me to become an SCP? Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Cerberus SCP. Those are 3 Cerberus class submarines, so that's not it. That's an artificial intelligence construct called Cerberus. That's a mimetic warfare mech. Okay, it looks like there is no Cerberus SCP right now, but it's definitely anomalous. So I wouldn't be shocked if we were able to get a hands on it. I mean, we already got our hands on Apollo, so if Apollo is contained, Cerberus can't be that far behind. Technically filming, thank you for donating again. I think it hissed at me. I assume testing at home. Why would you bring it home? No! Put it in a containment cell and test it there. Don't take that home with you. 0514, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. I'm back with my stimmy check. I might die tomorrow because I'm seeing the Minecraft movie with some acquaintances. I checked out 8980 as you suggested. Well, thank you for your donation. Much appreciated. I hope you don't die tomorrow by the awesome might of the chicken jockey. And I hope you enjoyed 8980 as much as you could, given the subject matter. Random fandom. I have seen some of SCP Realized, but I haven't seen all of it. And so it sounds like you're talking about an anti-mimetic anomaly they're dealing with. I wish them the best of luck. Battlefield Hardline, do you mind if I borrow SCP-999 for a bit? Put in your requisition form, and you can visit it in its cell. You can't take it out, though. Happy birthday, Selena! Your job is to inform us, but how do you know we are allowed to hear this? So there are 2 ways this can work out. Way number 1. Obviously, you guys can understand this because you're supposed to be hearing it. My job is to tell you guys and teach you about the SCP business. And if you are here, it's because you're logically allowed to be here. If you weren't allowed to be here, you wouldn't be here. The mimetic filters would filter you out. You would be amnesticized if you accidentally came upon it. So obviously, you're supposed to be here. You're Foundation staff. Maybe you're a sleeper agent we just woke up. Maybe you're a double agent working with another group of interests undercover. And so you're having to put on a facade of being antagonistic, but really you're on our team. Maybe those are the cases. Or, number 2 idea, this is the Broken Masquerade. Everyone knows about the anomalous now, despite our best efforts. And so it's my job as representative of the Foundation to explain to the general public what we do here and how we do it and how we keep you safe and sound. Public relations for the win. Whichever canon you prefer, go ahead. Ooh. Robot Not a Bot, thank you for donating again. How many robot SCPs are there, styled as humanoids? Oh my word. So what you'd want to do to answer this question is go to any SCP at all, and scroll to the bottom. Under licensing and citation, you'll see the tags. The one I picked right here has aquatic, artifact, city, global occult coalition, immobile, pentagram, safe, SCP, and third law. And so, with those tags, I'm just going to click on any tag first, because the tags show you all of the different SCPs that are tagged with them. And now I'm going to scroll down to what we call the tag cloud, and it's just a list of all of the tags. I'm going to go to the R's, and let's see, Riven Mercer, Robert Bamaro, Robert Carter, Robin Thorne, Robotic. So I'll click on Robotic SCPs, and oh dear God. That is 1, 2, oh, that's 30. Oh, they're numbered, thank God. 112 robotic SCPs there are. Now, of them that are like android/humanoid, that doesn't tell me, but I can look at android in the tags. Alternate, Alchemy, Eldon, Alexandra, Alden. All right, so there is, oh, that's L's. Anderson. Anubis. Okay, there is no android, so I can't look that up that easily, but if you go through the robotic tag, you'll find the ones you want to check out. Boat, thank you for donating again. Oh, that's right, I know why I'm not dead. We sent our 096 to the edge of the universe, so it'll take millions of years to get to us, I think. Oh, lucky you. Better than sending it to the sun. That didn't work so well out for that other universe. Technically filming, thank you for donating again. It bit me and it said we're linked. I think the entity is almost like a symbiote, so I guess you take both of us for testing? Yep. Well, you got bit. Good job. Stay in the box and we'll tend to you shortly. Thomas Knowlton, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious corned beef and cabbage at the commissary. What if we ordered SCP-500 from 294? I'm sure we've tried that. It probably said out of range. Or it just dropped a pill in the cup in liquid form. There's not a testing log, so I can't double check that. But I believe it would give the out of range again. And let me double check my work. SCP-294-500. Yep, everybody on Reddit says the same thing. Okay, next up. This is Pokey, or Poke. Thank you for donating again, I believe, to this stream. This is your second one or your first one? I think I got you earlier. No, this is your first donation of today's stream. So make sure to grab yourself some high C on your way past the commissary. How's Coney Hawk doing? Shredding. So cool. Coney Hawk's the best. Fantastic. I don't know if you guys know this, but back when we at Site 42 got really big on TikTok, well, we still are mutuals with Coney Hawk. We would chat all the time, and we played Mario Kart together. It was super cool. Coney Hawk is a dope cone. Dragon's Anthem, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a sweet bun on your way past the commissary. Yo, Dr. Sherman, long-time watcher, first-time super chatter. I wanted to get into VA work. Any SCP stories you recommend for someone to voice act? So what I would do in the beginning is I would find SCP articles that have lots of character chatter, because that's going to force you to just do the document voice as well as practicing characters. And if you're working on your own as a voice actor, that means you're going to have to practice your editing. And so if you get character scenes, especially mobile task force scenes, usually there's fights and monsters that you can make sounds for and sound effects. So you can do sound effects and gun sound effects and explosions, as well as the character voices to practice differentiating them. That's the best way to get good fast. Brave on ya. That's how I started too, so keep up the good work. Maybe we'll work together on a future project. Cerberus, thank you for donating again. So should I keep out of sight so I don't get caught and put in containment? I mean, I dare you to try. I don't think it's going to go well for you. Christopher, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, that is. Double checking. Yep, first one for today, so make sure to grab some crisscross applesauce on your way past the commissary. Would you make an SCP if I sent you a basic description of a creature? I am sorry to say that I cannot do such a thing. God, I haven't written an SCP in a couple years now. But the biggest deal is that I just don't have the time with all the work I'm doing between my day job, my freelance job, and Site 42. I got too much going on at the moment, so I can't sit down and write even the stuff I want to write. The best case scenario is for you to practice your writing, my friend. You can look at our SCP writing tips video here on the channel for tips on how to write. But the best case scenario is you're going to find everybody has a million ideas. The people who take the time to buckle down and write them are the heroes who become SCP authors. So do your best. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. To make up for the coat I have ordered you a new one, freshly made and ironed, even a shiny new name badge. As always comes with a twist, I'll let you find that out. Huh. Hey, Steve! Hey, Steve, there's a lab coat out there. Go grab it. Tell me if anything happens. Foray, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Frosty on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman, a fellow anomaly here. Love the work you do. And if you had to be in an MTF, which one would it be? Well, first of all, what do you mean, another anomaly? I'm not anomalous. What are you talking about? That's silly. I'm just an SCP researcher and site director. That's all. Who's anomalous? You're anomalous. And so, I appreciate you enjoying our work. And if I had to be in a mobile task force, I would want to be in Kappa 7, the Haughty Librarians. Because then, I just get to hang out in libraries all day. Read books. Yo, yes, I'm definitely investigating this one for anomalies. That's what I'm doing. He did what? And she said what? That's how I spend my time. What if I'm an SCP and you just don't know it? Well, you're going to raise suspicion if you keep that up, so I'd be cautious with any tips you're laying out. Dr. Sherman, glad I could finally catch a stream even though you are late. Welcome, H. Glad you made it. I'm going to crochet you a trench coat. That's impressive. That's a lot of crocheting. I wish you the best of luck with that. That sounds difficult. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. Also, apparently trying to get you investigated as an SCP backfired. Now they're investigating me. I won't go back in the box. Joke's on them. I was a former Mobile Task Force member. I know their tricks. What's that clicky thing you got there? Uh-oh. Looks like you got clicky thinged. Ah ha ha. That's what you get. Should have been more careful. Everything backfires. That is how we roll here. The getters get got, except for us getters, who are the getters who get people. We don't get got. We get the getters who got. Nailed it. Hello, sir. It's good to finally meet you. I want to be a D class. You want to be a D class? It's a very dangerous position to be in. Not a very long life expectancy. But hey, if you want to leave your better paying job and far less risk to do something so foolhardy, far be it from me to stop you. We could always use more hands on deck. Odin's Ravens. My night is going well. How is your night? Christopher, thank you for donating again. Okay, if I can get it done right, I'll have it go to Site 42. You know, since I run Site 42, when you read my anomalies, you'll notice they're all contained at Site 42. That's just an Easter egg I put in my own articles. I have mentioned Dr. Theron Sherman in one or two of them. I don't do that in every one of them. But I do set mine at Site 42 for that Easter egg purpose. When I scrolled to this live before joining, you were talking about no alcohol while on shift. I will drink an entire six-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade while staring you down. Well, you had better be off shift and in your quarters, relaxing. You could even be watching this on the big screen in the game room, if that were the sort of thing that you and your compatriots enjoy to do in your off time. I mean, listening to me talk about SCP things, it's so educational. It's a great way to spend your time. Who wants to waste their summer sleeping in and spending time with friends? We could do science slumber parties. Desk. I swear to 5320. If you keep up this fish is a loop business, I swear to 5320, we will take the snacks off the microwave just to spite you. What would happen if you lost your pen mysteriously? Nothing. Nothing would happen. It's just a pen. It's just a pen. Nothing weird or terrible would happen. It's fine. How many SCPs do you think you have read? Well, the playlist for the SCPs I've read just for the channel, I have 504 SCP readings. The master playlist has 504 SCP readings. So that is the SCPs I have read for the channel. Not counting ones I've read in my off time, not counting ones I read for fun, not counting ones that I read and decided I didn't want to record for the channel. So, yeah, that is a lot of SCPs. But of course, there are 8,000 plus of them just on the American language wiki. So, I mean, there's so many of them. I haven't even read a percent, basically. We do so much good work here. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. Out of curiosity, if you can even fully remember me throughout the live streams, what sort of anomaly, nor Foundation personnel, do you think I am in your own sort of lore? So, based on your chats and donations, I think as far as I can tell from the small bit of interaction we've had over the last week or so, I wouldn't think you have a very prominent anomaly, except you might have anomalous luck. You might be one of those probabilistic anomalies where you get out of trouble of scrapes through no good action of your own due to anomalous luck. That might be where I'm seeing things. Also, we are 16 minutes from end of stream, people. 16 minutes. Just ringing that bell, that alarm, so you know when it's coming. Robin Woza, thank you for your first donation to the stream. Make sure to grab yourself some quail eggs on your way past the commissary. Hi, Sherman, lol. Well, hello. What? There's fish is a loop heresy? That's heresy. Heretical even. That's what I said, Amber. Dr. Sherman, who are you trying to fool? You're an anomaly. We all know it. I press X to doubt, Jonathan. I press X to doubt anyone knows that. Because it's not true. No one can know a thing that isn't true. That's why no one knows. Of course. Don't make Dr. Sherman crash out. That's correct, Pierre. No one wants Dr. Sherman to crash out. Not even a little bit. What would happen if you put a bag on SCP-173's head? you would probably get your neck snapped because you would end up blinking while you were trying to put the bag on somehow. Likelihood, I mean, a bag doesn't affect SCP-173 at all, so that you're in trouble. I'm once again requesting all the privileges. Have you ever considered I'm less likely to breach if I had more things to do? The box is boring. Please don't make me go back. You get privileges for good behavior. And looking at your file, I am seeing disciplinary file Zerdrin. You are 3 points away from a tier of rewards. And you know what? If it sweetens the pot, I'll even throw in a coffee koozie for you. I feel like some SCPs don't follow the vibe SCP is going for, cough, cough, 3812. So here's a funny thing about anomalies is they can be anything. The problem is we're trying to contain anything that's not normal, and there's a lot of ish that isn't normal. So 3812, freaking crazy anomaly, definitely needs to be contained in one way or another to the best of our abilities. At least stop people from knowing about it. But, that's a big fish there for sure. Unknown Sierra, thank you for donating again. Given you said a week, I assume you don't remember around a month or so when I mentioned my assignment and escape from Site 13. Listen. We just installed new time equipment here at the Foundation. Chrono divisions have been going crazy here at Site 42. I don't know what day it is right now. It might have been a month ago. It might have been a year ago. It might have been 30 seconds ago, for all I know. We're still working out the kinks in the system, but it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Pimp Demon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself some malt liquor on your way past the commissary. Hear me, I'm a Cyberman, so let me in. That worries me that an anomalous robot would be trying to get into the Foundation. It sounds like you're on some spy BS. So, yeah, we'll let you in a box. We're just going to put you with extra security just in case. Robin Woza, thank you for donating again. Hi again. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. I'll get that pen one day. I dare you. I'll be waiting for your next attempt. What happened to Site 19? Jack, Site 19 is fine. I mean, they're having their annual staff retreat, but that's no big deal. They're fine. Hey, Sherman, I got in touch with an OG from back when SCP was just a wiki with a role-playing IRC server. Do you want to do an interview with him? Dr. Clocks, if you want to fact-check he's real. I've never heard of a Dr. Clocks, but, you know, I got into the community in 2015, which is 7 or 8 years after it started. So, I mean, if they are an OG that wants to chat SCP, they can send me a business email if they have something they want to talk about. I'm happy to talk history with SCP creators and see how things were. So yeah, if they want to shoot me a line, shoot me a line. Sounds cool. Dirt Bike Rider and Kaya, thank you for joining as subscribers to Site 42. Is there a branch of the SCP Foundation dedicated to cinematic/musical-based entities? Perhaps a broadcast department that monitors television satellites? Let me check our departments. I would imagine it's the media department of some sort. SCP Foundation Departments. Administration 05 Ethics, Record Keeping and Information Security Administration. Alchemy, Anomalous Entity Engagement, Antimemetics, Artificial Intelligence, Cryptozoology, Decommissioning, Deletions, Entomology. Emergent Threat Tactical Response Authority, Fire Suppression Department, Miscommunications, Mythology and Folkloristics, Other, Pataphysics, Procurement and Liquidation, Surrealistics, Tactical Theology, Telecommunication Monitoring Office, Temporal Anomalies Department. Insert department name here, Department of Abnormalities. So maybe it's Telecommunications Department. Telecommunication Monitoring Office handles the Foundation's worldwide analysis and processing of information gathered from telephone calls. So nope, that's not it. It does not look like we have a dedicated department to media like that. Felix. The Mobile Task Force have agreed to team up and rebel to our own Foundation. Really? That's just the Chaos Insurgency all over again. Either you're aping past actions and pretending they're real now, or you're just duplicating things that have already happened. In either case, ya basic. Mr. Sight, is there a Chicken Jockey SCP? There is not a Chicken Jockey SCP, although I did post it on Site42 Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads, on which you can follow me if you have any of those social media apps, that it would be the most epic le meme of all time if someone were to draw SCP-096 piggyback riding on SCP-173 with the caption, Peanut Jockey. If that happened, they would get all the meme points, all of the likes, everyone would love them and find them very attractive. They would probably get covered in kisses and money from the public who adored their meme so much. I'm not a drawer, so I can't make that meme. But I did tell people there's a cheat code out there. AJ Ramdas, you are shouted and you are outed. Joshua, thank you for your forced donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a turkey leg on your way past the commissary. Inazuma, Dr. Sherman is a certified diva. Ya basic. Ya damn right. Desk. I do believe that was a suitable amount of emojis. 3 to 4 is not bad. I like 3 to 4. Don't go crazy past 4. But I'll call it 3 to 4. No worries. We're all trying to learn the balance on when to drop the hammer. Unbalanced user. Any tips for making anomalous OCs without a Mary Sue situation? That is a great question. So, the Mary Sue is a nebulous concept. So is the Gary Stew, the other one. And so, the key is to try and write your character in a manner that they are not too overpowered, that they are not too well liked by everyone around them, that they don't solve problems too easily. It's the question of making a well-rounded character. Give me just 1 second. Firefly Markey, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some nectar at the commissary. But I do see that you got desked. Our moderators take the rules very seriously, and you must have either been overtly sexual in some manner in a way that was inappropriate, or you must have mentioned the doctor we don't talk about because we don't talk about Bruno here. If so, just talk to desk. Make sure to keep things on the level in the future, and things will be cool. Thank you for your donation anyways, in case you didn't know about the rules. What was I saying? Mary Sue's. So yes, a big problem with old SCP is that a lot of the doctors were Mary Sue's. They were just doing everything all the time, always succeeding. You gotta have something that balances your character a little bit. They gotta have flaws, they gotta have weaknesses, they gotta be real flaws. Someone like, oh, I have a temper. That's not a flaw unless it causes problems for the character. If it's like, oh, I have a temper and it makes me super strong and win, that's not a flaw. That's a power. So keep that in mind. Don't make your character too crazy awesome, and usually you'll get by pretty okay. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. Wait, I heard a click. What was I doing? Well, not stealing any pens. That's what I can tell so far. Monster Sec, good to see you in the last 4 minutes of the stream tonight. Good to see ya. You have 3.5 minutes to get your questions in, so thank you for your first donation to the stream. Grab some chicken pot pie, and good luck. Cerberus, thank you for donating again. What do I do to fight the unkillable lizard? Listen, I can get you in, but you're going to have to help us with this whole budget shortfall thing. So, you grease my palm, I grease your paw in this fighting thing. Twist Monkey. Hello, Monkey. Thank you for your first donation. Have you heard of the SCP Archive Department? Grab yourself a banana while I think. If you're talking about a YouTube channel, I don't know. If you're talking about just our archives, of course I have. Everything we do is on the SkipNet archive. Doodle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab some ground beef as you pass the commissary. I cast Femur Breaker. Well, if 106 needs to be contained, I approve. Good luck. Bearded Expensive, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure you grab yourself some beard oil when you pass the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I came across an interesting log concerning the Scarlet King. Apparently he created a universe where Battle Beast and 096. I suggest looking into the logs. Well, that sounds kind of dope. I gotta look into that. Monster Sack, question 1. Thank you for donating again. Out of all the attempts of ending 682, what was the most promising attempt? I believe it would be getting the cup of 682 killer from the coffee machine and then spilling it on the anomaly that makes it rain whatever liquid touches it. And that almost worked, but it didn't quite work. How many attempts have been done to end 682? Well, thank you for donating again. And a lot, many. The termination logs are on the wiki. You can just read them all. It goes on forever. Not as long as the 914 testing logs. Those are crazy. Enderbees, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some honey on your way past the commissary. Yo, Dr. Sherman, your capture squad is very yummy. P.S. I'm in Florida. Oh, the capture squad did not prepare for a Florida entity. Oh, that's so dumb. I could have told them. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Monster Sec, thank you for your third question donation. Who would win, 682 or the Yule Man? And also an idea for ending 682. So we can't get our hands on the Yule Man, which means I don't necessarily know its endurance. But I bet that 682 is stronger. Just got a feeling. So, with that in mind, we are at the last minute, people. You have 40 seconds to get your last questions and donations in before I sign off this stream and get to my next work. That poor capture squad. You're darn right, Zerdrin. Can 106's portals used to escape 3008? I believe they can work interdimensionally. I mean, it goes to a pocket dimension. We know that much. And if that pocket dimension can leave and go somewhere else, then yes. That is, I'd hypothesize yes. It might be no. It might be that 106 can only be in our dimension and the pocket dimension. Then that would be a no. But it's I think it's about 50-50. All right, last 2 donos, people. Cerberus got it right in under the wire. I'll give you 50 million souls to fight the lizard. Steve, do some math on souls What's the word when you make money into other money? I can't remember it right now. Exchange. Make an exchange estimation of 50 million souls to US dollars and see what we can get for that. Oh, God. You guys did a bunch of donations to make me stay here, I see. You're all monsters who I appreciate. Thank you. I will handle these. MonsterSec, thank you for donating again. So idea for ending 682, maybe use 173 and the sharp ball thing at the same time, or use 106. All three of those things were defeated by 682. I don't think a tag team is going to work. Doodle, thank you for donating again. And thank the word that our mimetic filters protect us from 2521 for now. Just don't say it again after we end it, or it won't work. Oh, I lost my browser. I got to go back. Give me a second. Getting myself back loaded so I can finish these donos from my very generous fans who are keeping me here against my will. But you're all very cool and awesome, so I accept it. Fox Packs and Co. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And I'd say grab something from the commissary, but you're going to McDonald's. So, yeah, I'll take a Big Mac. I love me a Big Mac. My general McDonald's order is I get a Big Mac or a quarter pounder with cheese. And then I do a 6 or 10 piece chicken McNugget with hot mustard out the wazoo. When they tried to end hot mustard, I almost rioted. Ooh, good stuff. I mean, it's garbage food, but sometimes you're just in the mood for garbage. Christopher, thank you for donating again. What if I'm a part of 682? 682 separations have not become sentient except for when they became a clone of 682. So are you SCP-682? Because otherwise you might be something else. Poke, thank you for gifting Site-42 memberships to 5 lucky chatters. Become Site-42 staff like the Wind people and thank Poke in the meantime. Monkey, thank you for donating again. I meant the Archival Department's Anomalous team. Do I know about this? Archival Department SCP. Okay, Archival Department. I did not know about these guys. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to look into this a little bit. You have shown me something new. I love the SCP Foundation because there's so much stuff. I know so much stuff, and then I know so less stuff. There's so much going on. MonsterSec, thank you for your donation again. One more question. Didn't 682 kind of bond with the living computer SCP, or am I mistaken? Well, I don't remember that happening. I know there's a tale where 173 got 035, and that was hell. Living computer 682. I don't know if that happened. MonsterSec, also, hi, how are you? I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you all for checking into stream. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out and maybe leave some comments so people come and chat with us some more next time. This has been Dr. Theron Sherman. I end all streams the same way by telling you my favorite SC Cypher. Cypher, come on, man. Cypher! Cypher! Thank you for donating. Go get yourself some fun dip at the commissary. I already see things, so it would be okay if I got a phone infected by 1471. Go nuts, make a mess of your life. It's fine. My favorite SCPs, which are not my SCPs that I wrote because that would be cheating. My favorite SCPs, if you want to read my SCPs, because you're allowed to read my SCPs, they're on the Sherm's SCP author page. You can read them all. There's like 7 or 8 of them so far. I plan on writing more once life gets a little less hectic. But for now, you can read mine. And while you're there, if you want to become a Site-42 patron or channel member so you can help us to make more SCP content, do more streams, hire on more staff at the Site 42 to make bigger and better projects. We would greatly appreciate all the help you can in that way as well. And my favorite SCPs, in no particular order, are 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J. Wait, why is Bearded Expenses here? Is Bearded Expenses someone I should know? You distracted me with your all caps. Good work. I'll look at that later. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, Expensive. Sorry, I said your name wrong. That's my bad. I'll do it again. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980 with a content warning that it's heartbreaking and brutal and really hard to read, but it's a great article. I'll say them one more time. 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980 with a huge content warning. I hope you had fun on this stream. I sure had fun on this stream. Keep an eye out over the weekend. Make sure you hit the bell, because I don't know when I'm going to stream over the weekend. There will be some little streams here and there, and if you don't have the bell on, you might miss it. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video and or stream. Keep securing, containing, and protecting, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. I didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. Kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter.